Philp graced our screens again yesterday and was pretty much allowed to scaremonger and lie his way through his entire interview. He did, however, get called out for being in a bit of a muddle. Looking through the comments on one of his latest videos, I did notice quite a few of you have named him Gulper, because every time he lies, he gulps, and I absolutely love it. And so he was doing quite a bit of that during this interview. And although Kay Burley didn't really press him on matters, he was just allowed to make stuff up and scare the public into thinking that police are going to be taken away from 999 calls. And although she did show him the clip from the Home Secretary, she just allowed him to carry on lying anyway. But because Gulper then went round in circles, she did actually say that he got into a bit of a muddle with his own lies. And he did have to kind of reset himself. So even when you've got the media tickling your tummy, he still can't get his lies in order.
Now, this announcement we're going to hear from Keir Starmer later today is going to mention 13,000 police officers. Now, that is actually a bogus and misleading claim, because I've been digging into this, and it turns out only 3,000 of those 13,000 are actually new police officers. And even those, the government are not fully funding, which means the police forces are going to have to find money from somewhere else. They're going to have to cut something else to fund the government's pledge. So when Keir Starmer stands up and says that number today, he is, excuse me, once again misleading the British public.
Yeah, you also say, as part of your investigations, that 3,000 police officers are going to be diverted away from 999 response and investigations. We put that to the Home Secretary. This is what she said.
Yeah, no, that's just nonsense. So we've identified around the 13,000. We initially said you could do that through having about 3,000 new recruits, police officers, another 4,000 newly recruited PCSOs, potentially 3,000 specials.
Yeah, and she missed out the last bit. Those numbers don't add up. The last 3,000 are 3,000 officers who are going to be reassigned from other duties to make it add up to 13,000 in total. Now, what are other duties? Well, local policing has 999 response officers and officers doing investigations. That is the only place it can come from. I spoke to a police and crime commissioner about this just a day or two ago, and he said he's going to have to take people, if the government make him do this, he's going to have to take people off 999 response in order to deliver the pledge that Starmer is going to make. I mean, once again, deeply misleading.
I believe that you previously said that you urgently need to reinstate Rwanda. In fact, you said that on this programme, but Kemi Badenoch pointedly refused to recommit to Rwanda last week.
No, I think we're basically in the same place. We were standing. Well, no, we are, because look, she was looking forward to 5 years' time when we may get back into office if we manage to win the next election. And of course, the Rwandans may not, be ready to do a deterrent.
If your boss won't commit to reinstating.
Well, look, she said very clearly, and I agree, we need a deterrent. What she was saying is in she was saying in 5 years' time, who knows if the Rwandan government will still want to do it. We're both committed to a deterrent, and we both think, Kemi and I both think, it was a mistake to cancel it before it even started. Even the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, is now calling on European Union member states to have some kind of offshore or outside the EU processing system, which is not quite...
She mentioned Rwanda.
Well, it's not... Yeah, she's outside the EU, right? She's saying that...
There's plenty of places outside the EU.
There are, but the principle, she's saying in principle, she wants European member states
You're all in a bit of a model, aren't you?
No, not remotely. Couldn't be clearer.
OK, I don't think it's clear. You sat there and said, totally want this reinstated urgently. Kemi Badenoch, your boss, won't commit to it.
Well, she's talking about what we're going to do in 5 years' time, and she obviously...
But she's not pushing the government to do it now.
No, she is. She's repeatedly, like me, said that removing a deterrent is a huge mistake, and we can see it's a mistake because the small boat numbers have gone up since the general election.
It was only a few days ago that the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, had to school him on his own job and remind him it was him that changed the law to allow more immigration. And you can see her doing just that in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.